Hi Panagdagat and good afternoon. I am Majeed Amerol from Bachelor of Physical Education, and for this video I will be explaining the assigned task that Ma'am Dember posted in Google Classroom. So the assigned task that Ma'am Dember giving to us is explaining the two classifications of motor skills, the discrete skills, motor learning process, motor learning, and so on. So first I will be explaining the classification of motor skills. So the two classification of motor skills are of fine motor skills and gross motor skills. So first we'll be explaining the fine motor skills. So fine motor skills are those that require a higher degree of control and perceptions in the small muscles of the hand. So when you say fine motor skills, is we are being used the small muscles of our hands or our muscles. So when we move, we use small muscles, such as example is using a fork. Diba? When we use a fork, small muscles is being required. Another example is dialing a phone. So dialing a phone is we are using a small muscles or a small or a tiny movement. So that's a fine motor skill. So the root word of fine motor skills is we are using our small muscles to move. So another motor skills is the gross motor skills. Use the large muscles in the body to allow for balance, coordination, reaction time, and physical strength so that we can do bigger movements. So in gross motor skills is we are being used a large muscles to move. Kung ganina is fine motor skills is we are being required to use small muscles. So here in gross motor skills is we're being use the large muscles such as playing volleyball. Diba when we play volleyball, from head to toe, our muscles is being moved. Our muscles is being used to require or to perform that particular skills or sports. So example of gross motor skills are playing volleyball, basketball, soccer, and etc. other sports that required a large muscles. So number two question is, what is competitive situation? So a competitive situation is one that allows for the evaluation process through providing a rule structure that A defines the goal toward which action is directed, and B defines the allowable means to try to achieve the goal. So when we say competitive situation is from the word competitive, so when we play volleyball or when we play a competitive situation, we are being we are being our mind is captured by the goals, or our mind is capturing by the trophies. So we are working a lot of time, a lot of progress just to take that a trophy to win. So sometimes na ay mga magsumbagay, below the belt na because of that goal nga ang trophy ang kailangan nila makuha. So that's competitive situation. We are being competitive to achieve that goal or to achieve that trophy. So, number two question is, explain the beginning and ending point of a skill. So, I researched about this because I understand the questions, which is the number three, and then I found out that this is discrete skills, which is a part of classification of motor skills. So, now is, what is discrete skills? It's a skills that contains a single unit of activity in which the activity action is brief and has well-defined beginning and end. So, ang discrete skills is like when we example is sa dart, di ba? When we hold the dart or ang katong talinis is sa imuha, so that's the beginning. So when we throw the dart, dito siya mapuan sa tong circle, so that's the end. So from sa imuha nga beginning to pagampas nimo sa katong talinis sa dart, so that's the end. So that's the meaning of beginning and end skills or discrete skills. It has a beginning and end. So another example is playing ball or bowling. Di ba when we throw the ball to the katong naay mga taas-taas nga kuan, something imong i-catch, then sa imo ang starting, then dito sa mga gatindog ang end. So that's discrete skills. It has a beginning and ending. So number 4 question is, explain motor learning process. So motor learning involves is defined as a change in the capability of a person to perform. That muscles must be inferred from relatively permanent improvement in performance as a result of practice or experience. So motor learning process are those person nga those person to study a person to improve her performance. Example is she didn't know how to spike a ball. So motor learning is applied his learning to patients nga unsaon nimo pag-spike sa bola. So tuduan nila si spiker kung unsaon nila pag-spike sa bola sa volleyball. So that's motor learning. They are ang goal nila is to improve that patients or to improve them as a athlete or as a better player. So that's motor learning process. They will be undergo in a process and progress to be better player. So that's a motor learning process. And then last is what is motor learning in sports. So motor learning in sports is involve learning a skilled task and then practicing with a goal in mind until skill is executed automatically. So same ra siya sa motor learning process. So motor learning in sports is they are being focused from a person nga nag-struggle sa sports. The example is motor learning si motor learning nakakita siya sa tao nga dili kabalo mo perform sa task. So, they will be assessed or they will be helping that person para mukabalo sa kanang skills or sa task. So, that's motor learning in sports. They will be helping for the betterment of that person.